It's your girl Sandra D, the main event, and welcome to my channel and to my community of love and unity. We will not be talking about hair. We will not be talking about food. We are on this journey of talking about the narcissist. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? Now, today we're going to be talking about why is it so hard to break that trauma bond. Now, this trauma bond that you received from the narcissist is everything that the narcissist went through when they were children. Okay? When they were children, they were in a position of being helpless because they were kids. And the person that was supposed to be nurturing them, loving them, validating them did not. So they have this behavior that they feel that they're not worthy. They're not good enough. So when they're in relationships, they carry this burden with them from childhood, from when it happened, all the way up into adulthood. And the trauma bond was left in them to make them broken, to make them not be valid. It was a way to keep them trapped. So a narcissist does not have healthy relationships with anyone. They don't even have healthy relationships with themselves. So they carry this burden, of pains and suffer wrongs. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, you will see them acting immature. Where they're acting immature and acting out as a way of getting some type of attention, because the attention that they should have gotten from their parents, they did not. So it doesn't matter if it's good intentions or bad intentions, as long as they're able to get focus on them in the spotlight, because this is an unhealthy individual who is scarred. And they've been scarred for life, and they don't want to take the time to heal because it is a hurtful and very painful process. And the reason why we know this very well is because we suffered at the hand of the narcissist who went through this process. The difference is we're willing to go through the process, even though it's a hard process to go through. So now, what you need to understand about that trauma bond and why it's also so hard is because there are dynamic forces behind it. And when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, they released these dynamic forces onto you. So now you're sharing in what the narcissist is experiencing, but they experience all of these things on a daily basis. And the purpose and the reason for why they need a lot of supply is because they need a type of power source to be able to regenerate them, to make them feel as though they're whole, to make them feel like they are healthy, to make them feel like they are worthy. So they need this power source to come into their own lives to be able to have some type of release from those pains and those suffered wrongs that they suffer from, not just as kids, but even as adults, because they don't know how to have healthy relationships. So you're dealing with a narcissist who is looking for a transfer of power, but also what they're doing is transferring those spirits onto you. Okay, it's called spiritual transfer. And this is where, if you are a chosen one, you cannot be possessed by a spirit, but you can be oppressed. Okay. And so what they're doing is trying to make you oppressed and make you depressed as a way of you being able to stay down in misery like the narcissist. Okay. So the narcissist, what they did was they cast, onto you their own traumas that they've been dealing with since childhood. And what they're doing is bringing you in to their world of abuse, which is why it's called an abuse cycle. Because this is a learned behavior that the narcissist continues to have from when it started, when they were children, on up into adulthood. Okay. And it's also called a generational curse, because these are practices that the narcissist, the family, has done for so long, to where this is a learned behavior. The narcissist knows that this is not healthy, and they know that it's not right for them to do. But they will do it anyway, because what they're looking for is to have relief. Okay, so what they're doing is belittling you and hurting you and invalidating your feelings on purpose, because they were never validated. But when you're validating them, that makes them feel good, but also in the same sense, they feel like they have to switch positions with you, which is why when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's unequally yoked, because this person feels like they're the adult while they're treating you like a child from their childhood traumas and putting all of that pain and suffer wrong onto you for you to deal with, so that they can go off with your blessings and everything that you are and go out to pretend like they're okay. And yes, this is sick and it's very unrealistic. But these are the things that you need to understand when you're dealing with a narcissist, because a narcissist is not well. This is why they wear masks. The mask is used to be able to cover up what they really are, which is miserable individual people who are toxic. And they go around trying to infect each and every person that they can get their hands on. This is why they have so much supply. So it's not that when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, that a narcissist is just in the relationship as a way of, trying to just gain supply from you. What they're doing is actually trying to do everything that they can as a transfer of power to make you become who they are, and they want to become who you are. So when you're dealing with the smear campaigns, these smear campaigns are campaigns that came from their childhood. Their parents telling them that they're no good. Okay? The parents telling them they could never do anything right. I'm sure some of you guys probably heard some of these things. You don't make good decisions. Why I always got to come in here and try to save the day like they're the hero when they're the villain. Narcissists do this intentionally and on purpose because they never had control. So as an adult, they feel that no one can tell them what to do. So they will try to intimidate and bully, but all of these tactics that you know about the narcissist, these are every tactic that they went through and experienced as a child. Which is why if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you're trying to show the narcissist by mirroring them back and showing them what they are, they know this. They grew up in it. They're masters at this. This is why you cannot act like the narcissist, because the narcissist is already aware of these behaviors. Now, when you're going through the trauma bond, the narcissist is not expecting a chosen one to be able to have this breakthrough of healing and deliverance. Okay? When you're going through this trauma bond, you do have some setbacks because you're dealing with toxic spirits that the narcissist has inflicted onto you, and you were none the wise. This is why when they love bombed you, you were opening up like a flower. Well, when you were opening up, that's when the narcissist came in and was pouring out everything that they've been through and experienced onto your life and tried to make you feel as if you don't matter, because they never mattered to the people that were supposed to love them. And even if you love a narcissist and care for a narcissist and want to see the narcissist be delivered and healed, they will not take the necessary steps to do so unless they are really at their depths in. And it takes a lot for the narcissist to even get to that point, because they created this alter ego as a way of protecting themselves, as a barrier, so that they won't have to go and do these things, even though they know that they're going to run out of supply, or they're going to go through supply left and right, right and left, up and down, sideways to sideways. It's going to happen because they cannot maintain relationships. Now, a narcissist does want to have relationships. They do want to have healthy relationships, but they won't do what is necessary for them to have a good, healthy relationship, because they do not want to deal with that hurt and that pain, because it's too much for them to deal with. Now, I'm not making excuses. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when we go through this trauma bond experience, it was too much for us. So the narcissist intentionally wants to try to keep you down in their world, because they just want to be able to feed off of you. So when you have suffered, going through this trauma bond, you recognize and realize that nothing is working the way it did prior, because the narcissist has come and infected your life. Which is why I told you guys in one of the videos that a part of you does die. And it needed to die, because that side of you that got caught up didn't recognize and realize that it was a trap. So that part of you died so that the new part of you will be more aware, awakened, woke, and that you will never be rocked to sleep. Okay, again, you won't accept, being disrespected or mistreated, and you will not allow the narcissist to think that they can come feed off of you like parasites, like leeches. The narcissist in their trauma bond is all the things that the narcissist goes through. And what they did was inflict those pains, those suffer wrongs onto you. And they did not expect for you to be able to come out on the other side. Now, y'all remember when I told y'all about the movie The Matrix, and they had Agent Smith, and Agent Smith was going out trying to make people like him, and they looked just like him, moved like him, talked like him, did all these things. This is what the narcissist was trying to do to you, infect you, so that you will look like the narcissist. So when you went through that smear campaign and they sat there and lied on you, what they was telling the truth about how they were, but they switched it with saying that you were all of these things. And when they did this, this is when they was working on your emotions so that you would react and respond like the narcissist does, so that his side of the story or her side of the story will stick. When you went through finding out that the narcissist had not only just manipulated you and lied about you or lied to your face, you found out about another supply. The narcissist knows that depending on who they chose, they know that the relationship is not going to work. So when they're throwing their narcissist fit, rage, or they got injured, it's not excuse me, it's not because you did anything wrong. The narcissist is revealing to you in those stages in how they're reacting as a way of being upset that their shenanigans, their manipulations is not working on you. Now, do their tactics work? Yeah, they do. Let's just be real and be honest. But for a chosen one, it's only temporary. But for those who are not saved, not chosen ones, not empaths, it's a whole total different story. But what you need to understand is that when you're going through these trauma bonds and you hurt and you're grieving and you're confused and you're not yourself, it's because you're experiencing everything that the narcissist is. And this is why it's so hard to go through the process, because you recognize and understand that this is not who you are, nor is it how God created you to be. So you have to go through this whole detox process, because that's what it is. You're detoxing from the negative spirits of carrying those burdens that the narcissist was trying to make you carry on their behalf, because they can't handle the truth or don't want to face the truth. So you're detoxing, okay, this negative energy. You're detoxing the abusive cycle. You're detoxing this generational curse, this cycle of abuse. And it takes time to break something like that, because you're dealing with these dynamic spirits. Okay? And it's just like, y'all remember in the Bible where the gentleman was on an island by himself and he was chained up, but he was scratching himself and he was breaking those chains. But Jesus went over there and had talked to the man. And when he asked him, he was like, what spirit am I talking to? And then when the man responded, it was all the demons that was in him. And he said legions, which means many spirits. The reason why Jesus asked what type of spirit it was, because once he was casting those spirits out, he wanted to make sure he named the spirit that it was. So you're dealing with legions of spirits. You're also dealing with a Jezebel spirit, because these are spirits that the narcissists carry. They got the spirit of Lot. Y'all know Lot. Lot knows himself, wasn't supposed to go with Abraham and was always ear hustling to see what Abraham was up to, just like a narcissist. So you're dealing with all of these different types of spirits that the narcissist was carrying. Okay, y'all remember in the Bible where it talks about once you get all of these spirits out of you to keep your house clean. Okay, because them spirits is looking for a way to come back. This is why the narcissist is always trying to come back. Because once you clean up, they want to see if they can come back in and wreak even more havoc. That's why you cannot allow the narcissist to come back again and again and again and again, because it gets worse each and every time because of those dynamic spirits. So when you were in that relationship with the narcissist, how the narcissist actually got you to open up was during that love bombing stage, because your guard was down and you wasn't paying attention to any threats because they appeared to be non-threatening. And that is the beginning stage of when those spirits started to slowly but surely creep in. Okay? You know how narcissist relationships can be addicting? Well, that's a spirit that the narcissist was putting on you, but it's a spirit really of lust. So the narcissist was using all of these tactics, okay, as a way to open you up into your world so that they could pour in all of those dynamic spirits that they were carrying on them to put it on you as a transfer of power. Because spirits are transferable. And when you open up in that love bombing stage and you took the bait, that's when all those spirits began to creep in and you was none the wiser. So when you're going through the trauma bond stage, you are actually releasing and you're banishing these dynamic spirits, okay, that the narcissist left behind to leave on you as a way for them to keep you trapped into their world. So when you're going through this experience, it's going to be an experience that you will never forget, but it is a learning experience as well, where you're going to come out on the other side better. Okay, your latter is going to be greater than your former. That part of you that you feel like died, it needed to die, because you will not be deceived anymore. And when you come into your new birth like a butterfly, you will be better than your former. You will not be the same person. You're going to be better. You're going to be greater. And you're going to level up to even higher heights. And the narcissist knew this. And the narcissist was trying to do everything that they could to keep you under their power, because they wanted you to submit to them, because they got this God complex mentality. So I want you guys to understand that when you're going through the trauma bond stage, the healing takes time. Because that healing takes time, because you have to release those hurts, those suffer wrongs, those dynamic spirits that you're dealing with, that the narcissist placed in you and on you on purpose as a way to extract from your life, to be able to do a switcheroo. They tried to make you an Agent Smith. The narcissist wanted you to be like them, and they wanted to be like you. And this is why they wanted to trade places. This is where your free will became non-existent, because when you went through that love bombing stage, you thought that you could trust and lean on the narcissist. And that's what they was hoping and depending that you would do, as a way of transfer of power, so that they could leave you devastated, so that they could leave you broken, so that they could leave you without. You guys ever notice that it seemed like the narcissist that came up? Well, they did come up. They came up with some of your anointing. But when you snatched your power back and that part of you died, that part died with the narcissist too. And when it died, it went right back to the narcissist. So when the narcissist thinks that they putting something on you, in return, it boomerangs actually off of you. And it returns back to the narcissist, because them spirits got to go back where they came from. But then it gets worse for the narcissist, because karma is a bitch. So you may have to go through that healing phase because you allowed that to happen. And I know you don't understand. And you was like, I didn't mean to let it happen. Of course you did not. And the narcissist knows that. That's why they love bomb you, as a way to have you not see what was happening and what was going on. You cannot blame yourself for this happening. But you sure can learn from this whole experience and never allow it to happen again. So the reason why it is hard to break the trauma bond is because you're dealing with something you never dealt with before. And you're dealing with spirits, okay, that are trying to stop your destiny to greatness. And you have to clean house by cleaning out that toxic that the narcissist left behind as a scar on your heart. And when you're done, you guys make sure that you get you some sage, okay? And you're going to have to detox your home, okay? If you know somebody that prayed and they pray with power, or a pastor, ask them to come and do a house cleanse, because you need to get rid of everything that the narcissist had left. You get rid of any gifts that they gave you. You do not hold on to gifts that a narcissist has given you. They got spirits on them. You cast every spirit out, including the narcissist. And learn about spiritual warfare. Because you do not want to have to go through this repeated cycle again. And you don't want to be left dealing with some unwanted spirits that Jesus didn't want you to be a part of in the first place, which is why your gut was telling you something ain't right here. This is why your intuition was shouting. This is why the Holy Ghost was pulling you like a shepherd has sheep with a staff, pulling you. Because the Lord knows that this narcissist was working for the devil, and the devil is your enemy and not your friend. And this is why it is hard to break a trauma bond. I'll see you guys in the next video.